I should have kept that old Chevy, would have made my old man proud. But youth wants a different story, running fast and living loud. Years roll by, dreams turn slow, safe bets don't make you smile. Now I'm wrenching till the sunrise, chasing memories mile by mile. Hold on, C10s keep holding on. High school cheap wheels, not chrome and steel, but a battered photo ride. You're smacking daydreams, I'm pacing on my pride. Took too long to see the truth, my taste had grown up too. By time I could afford one, that C10 just slipped through. Paint stains on my hands, see, 'cause they're on my hands. Whoa, roll on, C10s keep holding on. Roll on, yeah, C10s keep holding on. Roll on, yeah, C10s keep holding on.
Alright folks, it's been a couple of days. Actually, it's been 4 or 5 days. While I was trying to decide what to do and how to attack this problem. Now, I could patch this in, right? I have the patch panel that I had purchased, and I could patch that in, but there's actually quite a bit of rust, and I really don't like these pop rivets holding everything together in this cab. So what I decided to do was to make a 4.5 hour trip to Lenexa, Kansas, to LMC, and pick up some new panels. Let me show you.
I kept chasing the 67 C10 dream, rolling steel and heartbreak down memory stream. Couldn't let it go, it's in my blood and my bones. Sometimes you chase a truck and sometimes you just get towed. Just gotta keep rolling. Oh, rust and hope I'm holding. High school days, Dad had keys burning in his hand. I said, I want a car, not a truck, can't you understand? Got it. Toyota Corona, thought I'd burn up the street. But that little four-banger just put it in defeat. Ooh, yeah, memories on my mind. Ooh, my old man's right. I kept chasing that 60.
All right. Well, it's got a little sticker on it that says Made in Taiwan. I'm happy about that. This one is too. So I decided to go with the complete outer and inner panel. and the new outside cab header. Now, without a doubt, I believe I could have fixed the panels that were there. You know, basically cutting the rusty piece out of the old panel and putting the patch in. But those panels, there's places along the sides of both panels that's going to have to be cut out and replaced. And I showed you earlier, there's a little rust on these corners on the outside panel. Also, and I didn't even think about this, where the rear view mirror goes, you can't get that in terms of a repair panel. Let me show you the repair panel. So the repair panel is for, I don't know if it's the deluxe edition or just the 72, but the repair panel has a different mounting for the rear view mirror. In terms of repair panels, I believe this is the only repair panel you can get. For the complete header, you can get both. So I could have gotten the complete header with that embossed section for the late model rear view mirror. But this is what the truck had in it. Okay, I'm outside. There's probably going to be some wind noise here, but I wanted to show you. So I've got the old eyebrow laying on top of the new one, and you can see the new one isn't cut straight, which isn't surprising, but right, it's the top side that's kind of hanging out on this end. And it's the bottom side on this end. So I'm going to take and mark that and get that straightened up. Then I'm going to show you, well, there's another potential problem. All right, let me get this done. All right, so I think I've got this where it is fitting. On both sides. I may still do just a little bit of trimming, but the interesting piece is, see how that's smooth right there? On the 67, there's another bead right there. Yeah, you can see that. So the replacement panel doesn't have this bead. I went out and looked at my 71, and it's like this replacement panel. So I don't know when they changed it. The 67's a lot of things on the 67 is sort of a carryover from 66 before they really got into it. So I don't know if it's the same on the 68 or not. But on the 67 anyway, that little bead right there goes all the way around the windshield, and that's what I showed you. That's what I showed you on the panel right there. But the later ones, that bead's not there. It's smooth. Now, the good news is that rubber comes all the way up to here, right? So you don't see that. The 71, I don't know if I said it, but the 71 has this bead, but it tapers out and goes to 0 as it comes up to the top. And so there's no bead right here. Well, I wish they had told me that. At this point, I still don't think that I am motivated enough to try to use this old panel. This thing's pretty crusty. And the new one is just as thick as this. And since you won't see that transition because of the windshield rubber, I'm going to continue on with this. The shape and everything seems to be about right. Where the drip edge is right up here, it's interesting. I think this may be a little fatter on that new panel, but I think it's close enough we can work with it. Anyway, I'm going to continue on trying to fit this thing, and I'll bring you back.
I kept chasing that 67 C10 dream, rolling steel and heartbreak down memory stream. Couldn't let it go, it's in my blood and my bones. Sometimes you chase a truck and sometimes you just get towed. Oh, just gotta keep it rolling. New parts and I'm hoping. Built a short bed from a long bed with blood, sweat, and tools. Took 12 off the frame, felt like breaking the rules. Homegrown paint job in a cloud of spray.
Let's have a look at this.
It wasn't the same as Dad's, but it would have to stay. Saw 67 in Kansas with a clean old slate. Hooked up my trailer, man, this could be fate. Short frame in Tulsa, stars lined up just right. Didn't check the numbers, yeah, not my brightest night. Just gotta keep it rolling. New parts and I'm hoping. Cap corners turned to ghosts, mice had a ball. Rusted flows and rockers patching through it all. But I'm seeing that light, engine parts stacked proud. When I fire up, Dad, hope you're looking down. We build on hope, on memory spark. That old tin, it lit up my heart. I keep chasing that 67 C10 dream. Rust and hope, they flow in the same stream. Couldn't let it go, it's in my blood and my bones. Sometimes you chase a truck, sometimes you just get towed. Whoa, whoa, laughter and frustration. Oh, whoa, it's a C10 celebration. Oh, whoa.
So some more wire brushing, and I need to finish cleaning. I need to finish cleaning up the front up here. I need to finish cleaning up the front corner because that's part of the headliner. It was welded right along the edges up here on both sides. I need to get that cleaned out. More wire brushing, more rust protecting, and I'll get back with you. Thought I'd give you an update. I'm still cleaning. A lot of rust and rust. Anyway, it looks like when this thing was repaired, it actually did take the A-pillars with it. Let me show you. All right. So that's brass right there, and there's brass right there, all the way up. So it looks like I can't actually tell whether I can't tell what they fixed. Anyway, this A-pillar, this inner piece, it has been replaced or taken off. I would suspect replaced, but I'm not sure how they fixed the A-pillar. We'll probably figure it out once we do some more digging. Not gonna change where we're headed. Anyway, I'm gonna get back to grinding. All right, well, there's nothing like more surprises, right? Apparently when they cut the roof off this thing, they just cut it at the flange. Okay, so got to get that flange off there so I can get cleaned up underneath there. It's just rust, right? Well, folks, I got it all cleaned off. I put the rust converter on it, and I set this panel in to see how it was going to fit. It's not bad. Let me take you around, and we'll talk about a few things. One of the first pieces is you notice that distance, left to right, is actually further than that distance left to right, which means that when you're trying to put this thing together, you're trying to put again, a 10-pound potato in a 5-pound sack. So what I ended up doing is, it turns out, you notice I've got this screw in here. I've got one on both sides. I took that screw out, loosened that panel out, and that allowed me to tweak these A-pillars out just enough to get that thing slid up in there. I can tell you that was interesting. Now, the thing that's even going to be more interesting is I got to get this thing out so I can finish prepping all the area, and I've got a little bit of rust around the sides, so we're going to have to get this thing back out. But I was curious how much extra work I was going to have to do and if I had to modify anything else, so I put it in there. I can tell you that it doesn't just slip in there. Now, ideally, I believe the way this thing's supposed to go together is you tilt the headlighter in like this and then roll it up. But because you're putting the entire headliner in, or inner panel, because you're putting the complete inner panel in, and because this outside is wider than that side, it does go in, and it does seem to fit good. I don't have any real cracks around the edges, and the back seems to fit pretty well. Now, there's going to have to be some sheet metal screws in there to kind of hold everything tight. Another issue, which really wasn't a big issue, is that where it's rolled right here, had to kind of put a screwdriver in there and kind of trying to get it started. Once it got started, it fell right in, and you can see we still got a gap up here that we're going to have to get screwed together. Yeah, you can see the gap on both sides. All right, so it seems to be together here in the middle. That may be because I need to twist this front header panel just a little bit. So there's still some. It's not just a bolt. It's not a bolt in, but it actually. I'm pretty happy with the fit. Just going to take a little more massaging to kind of pull it together. The more interesting one, and yeah, maybe you got some ideas on this one. Let me preface this. So you can see this new inner panel basically sets on that and gets spot welded here. So you have to actually spot weld this thing before you put the top on. However, the top gets spot welded on this piece. So, and it's got to be spot welded before you put the inside in. I believe at the factory, they weld this to the inner panel and they weld this to the top, and then they marry the inner and outer panels together and they pinch weld it together. I believe that's probably how they do it. And believe it or not, I really thought about pulling all of those spot welds out and pulling that inner panel, but I just can't bring myself to do it. So I'm going to spot weld this, right? Get this clamped together and plug weld this top in. Basically, I get the whole inner top welded on. Then let me set the top on. So I got the top on, and it actually fits on there pretty good, but you would kind of expect that. It's a big low crown panel, so it kind of will morph to fit the situation. It's a little bit fat on the sides. This side doesn't seem to be as bad as the other, but the problem is, given that, I showed you these supposed to be spot welded together on that flanges down. Now the way the body shop did it was they brass welded these tops together. In the end, I'm going to MIG weld them together, but I want to pull it together and actually do a little better job of getting the panels lined up. So what I'm thinking at this point is I'm probably going to put a little clip here so I can put a C-clamp on it and pull it together. That probably means that I'm going to have to take that roof off multiple times and mush that meeting flange, the factory one and the one on the replacement panel. I'm going to have to kind of tweak those all the way along so that I can get them to mate together and flush up. Other than that, I think these LMC panels actually work really well. I do wish that I would have known that this didn't have the 67 bead roll. And in case any of you guys were wondering, so remember earlier I said that the 67 has this bead or reveal or whatever we want to call it, but the later models didn't. This area across the top here is flush. Divot, if you will, is right there. So my thought is I'm gonna weld that up, and I'm gonna make a nice smooth transition so when the windshield molding goes on there, it fits tight up here, and it doesn't have a step in there that water can drain down inside there. So that's my goal, is just smooth that out so that rubber sets up there tight like it's supposed to. Other than that, I'm happy with these panels. Still got a lot of work to do to get them in there, and as you might guess, I'm not going to get these welded in on this video. I'm just out of time. I'm just out of time. But I am happy that it's together and it looks like it's going to fit. And in terms of, I guess, reviewing the LMC panels, I think we achieved our purpose here. I think these panels are good panels, and I think they're going to fit pretty well. At this point, I haven't run across anything that would tell me otherwise. So I'm happy with them, and quite honestly, I've never had any issues out of LMC. They have you call them up, they have great customer service. It's a good company. Well, if you're interested in the C10, I'll put a playlist up here, and you can go through and watch how we got to where we are. And until next time, I'm Random at RandomRodShop, and I'm out of here.
Frustration, oh, it's a C10. Dream keeps rolling through my mind. Saw my dad's old Chevy, left that chance behind. A little older now, but I won't let go of that rusted, busted 1967 soul. Oh, yeah, memories on my mind. Oh, old man's ride.